My parents kicked me out at 16 because of a lie my brother told. Years later, after I built a successful life without them, they came crawling back, begging me for money. But let's start from the beginning. Alright, so picture this, I'm 16, just a quiet kid who liked video games, drawing comics in the margins of his notebooks, and occasionally demolishing a sleeve of Oreos when no one was looking. I wasn't a rebel, I wasn't out getting into trouble, heck, the wildest thing I'd done at that point was sneak a second slice of cake at my cousin's birthday party. But none of that mattered. Because what really set things in motion was my brother, Jason. Jason was the type of dude who could crash your bike, steal your lunch money, and somehow you'd end up apologizing. The golden boy. Star athlete. Homecoming prince. My parents basically lit candles for him at dinner like he was some suburban demigod. Me? I was background noise. A supporting character in the Jason show. Now, I'd gotten used to that. Didn't like it, but I dealt. Until the day Jason decided to torch my life for sport. It started with a rumor, a nasty, nuclear-grade lie. He told my parents I was stealing from them. Not like, a $5 bill from the wallet kinda stealing. No. He said I'd been sneaking into their bedroom, taking hundreds, pawning electronics, the whole troubled teen starter pack. Claimed he caught me in the act. I was in total shock when my mom came storming into my room like she was auditioning for an episode of Cops. She's waving her hands, yelling, tears already brimming, and my dad's behind her with that silent, disappointed stare. You know the one. The kind that hurts worse than yelling. I kept saying, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. But they were locked in. No trial. No chance to defend myself. Just verdict and sentence. By sunset, I was standing on the front porch with a garbage bag full of clothes and my sketchbook sticking out the side like some sad badge of honor. Kicked out. No backup plan. No safety net. Just me, my busted Converse, and the feeling that the people who were supposed to have my back had just shoved a knife in it. And the worst part? Jason was watching from his bedroom window. Smirking. Like I said, that was just the beginning. So there I was, 16, standing on the front porch of a house I used to call home, with a trash bag of clothes and zero plan. It's funny how fast life can flip on you. One minute you're doing homework and debating whether to microwave pizza rolls or not burn your mouth off again, the next, you're exiled like some medieval traitor. I ended up crashing on my buddy Chris's couch. His mom was a saint, the kind of woman who'd feed you even if she only had one slice of bread left. She didn't ask questions. Just pointed at the couch and said, "Put a pillowcase on that thing, you're not a guest anymore, you live here now." I could have cried. Meanwhile, Jason? Living like royalty. My parents were rewarding him for his honesty. They bought him a used car, for being mature enough to protect the family. I could barely afford a bus pass, and this dude's out here rolling around in a Honda Civic like he's king of the cul-de-sac. Word around town, and by town I mean our nosy neighbor Ms. Hargrove, was that I'd been sent to live with a distant uncle for rehab. Rehab. I didn't even drink soda out the fridge without permission, let alone need rehab. But the lie stuck, 'cause that's how rumors work. Sticky, loud, and usually wrong. I didn't say anything. I didn't try to plead my case or win them back. Deep down, some part of me knew, if they could believe Jason that easily, they were never really on my team to begin with. So I did what any stubborn, quietly furious teenager would do. I started working. School during the day, dishwashing at a diner at night. Saved every nickel. Slept like a vampire. No social life, no distractions. Just this burning determination that someday, I'd make it so big, they'd choke on their own words trying to say my name. And Jason? He had no idea he just lit the fuse on the biggest, watch me, of my life. Fast forward a year, maybe a little more. I'm 17, still living off that couch at Chris's place, which, by the way, had the structural integrity of a pancake and the springs of a medieval torture device. But hey, it beat the cold. By then, I'd picked up a second job, stocking shelves at a 24-hour grocery store. Between the diner and the night shift, sleep was optional and caffeine was mandatory. I basically lived on gas station coffee and diner leftovers. I smelled like dish soap and bread rolls 24/7, but I was stacking checks like Lego bricks. I also got smart. Started teaching myself coding on an old laptop Chris's mom had lying around. Thing was so old it wheezed when it booted up, but it worked. Free online courses, YouTube tutorials, forums, I devoured it all like it was the last slice of pizza at a party. And let me tell you, there is nothing more dangerous than a broke teenager with internet access and a vendetta. I wasn't just trying to survive anymore, I was building a future. Quietly. Patiently. Like a lion in tall grass. Now, here's the twist, while I was grinding in silence, guess who was fumbling the bag in surround sound? Yup. Jason. Turns out, the golden boy didn't exactly have a golden work ethic. College? Dropped out. Job? Couldn't hold one longer than a Snapchat streak. Car? Repossessed. He was still living at home, mooching off my parents like a grown baby with a Wi-Fi connection and no ambition. Karma was knocking, but softly. I wasn't paying it much attention. I had my own mission. By the time I turned 19, I had enough saved to move into a tiny studio apartment. Just me, a mattress on the floor, and a hand-me-down desk with my battle-scarred laptop. Freedom never looked so good. I didn't throw a party or announce anything. I just moved in, closed the door, and exhaled for the first time in years. But here's the real kicker. While Jason was spiraling, my little side hustle, it was turning into something big. Clients. Projects. Actual money. I was coding apps and fixing websites for small businesses. Word started spreading. And for the first time, people were looking at me, not as the kid who got kicked out, but as the guy who knew what he was doing. Funny how success makes people remember you. And guess who suddenly started remembering me? Yup, my parents. It all started with a Facebook friend request from my mom. Now let me be clear, I hadn't heard a peep from my parents in 3 years. Not a birthday card, not a, hey, are you alive, not even a passive-aggressive text. I might as well have been a deleted contact in the family group chat. And then out of nowhere, ping. Your mom has sent you a friend request. I stared at it like it was a trap door with a welcome mat on top. I let it sit for a few days, debating if I should accept or just let it rot in digital purgatory. Curiosity won. I accepted, half expecting nothing. Instead, I got hit with a message faster than you can say, emotional whiplash. We miss you so much, sweetheart. Your dad and I have been thinking about you a lot lately. We're so proud of everything you've accomplished. I almost choked on my coffee. Proud? Proud? Where was that energy when I was sleeping on a couch, washing dishes, till my fingers looked like prunes, and hustling like my life depended on it? Oh wait, that's right, they were too busy polishing Jason's participation trophies. I didn't reply right away. But then came the second message, and that's when the plot really thickened. Your brother's going through a tough time right now, he lost his job and we're trying to help him with the mortgage. It's been stressful. We know you're doing well now and, if there's any way you could help the family a little financially, it would mean the world. There it was. Not even 4 messages in, and we'd already gone from, we love you, to, can we have some of that sweet, sweet success money? I sat back in my chair, stared at the message, and just started laughing. Not out of joy, oh no. This was that, I cannot believe the audacity, kind of laugh. The kind that feels like poetic justice with a punchline. I mean, you kick me out for something I didn't do, cut me off completely, pretend I don't exist, and then circle back when your golden boy turns into a rust bucket? Yeah, I had some thoughts. So I sat there for a good 20 minutes, just staring at that message from my mom. The mix of fake nostalgia and straight-up manipulation was impressive. Honestly, if she put half that effort into actual parenting, we might have had a Christmas card-worthy relationship. But hey, I wasn't the same couch-surfing kid anymore. I had a business. Clients. Stability. My own espresso machine, for crying out loud. The version of me they kicked out? He died somewhere between that diner night shift and debugging someone's crusty old website for $50. So I did what any emotionally damaged, sarcastically inclined success story would do. I opened up the message and replied. Hey Mom. Wow, this is unexpected. I've been doing well, thanks. Hope you and Dad are good. Sorry to hear Jason's having a rough time. That must be hard. Polite. Just vague enough. I knew what I was doing. I waited, less than 2 minutes. We're so happy to hear that, sweetheart. Maybe we could all talk soon. Jason really needs a little help. Just something small, maybe a few thousand, just to help get him back on his feet. A few thousand. I almost admired the boldness. Jason was probably standing behind her, dictating every word like a broke little puppet master. I could practically smell the Axe body spray and unearned confidence through the screen. So I sent the follow-up. About that, I've got a rule these days. I only invest in people who believed in me when I had nothing. You guys made it pretty clear back then that I didn't belong. But it's cool, I found people who thought otherwise. Tell Jason I said good luck, though. Sent. Delivered. Read. And then? Silence. No, we're sorry. No, we understand. Just read receipts and the digital version of a jaw hitting the floor. But the cherry on top? The next morning, I got a Venmo request from Jason himself. Caption. Be a real brother, $5,000. I kid you not. He had the gall to request $5,000 like I was his personal ATM with a heart. That's when I knew, this wasn't over. Nope. This was just the warm-up act. So after I shut down Jason's $5,000 Venmo request, which, by the way, I declined with the comment, try a GoFundMe, champ, things were quiet, too quiet. Until Sunday. Now Sundays used to mean sleeping in, pancakes, and not checking my phone till noon. But this particular Sunday, I wake up to a text from my friend Alex with just 3 words. Dude. Facebook. Now. My stomach did that little oh flip, and I opened the app, and boom. There it was. My parents, front and center, with a heartfelt post that read like a Hallmark card written by a gaslighting committee. Sometimes, families drift apart. We all make mistakes. But we hope our son can forgive us. We miss him dearly, and we only wish he'd remember where he came from. Jason's going through a hard time, and family should help family. Broken heart #family first #second chances. #second chances? More like #second mortgage, if they had their way. Oh, and of course, the comments section was a mess. Some people, mostly boomers from our hometown, were posting things like, praying for healing folded hands, and, hope he comes around soon crying face. But then, my people showed up. Old coworkers. Friends from college. Even Chris's mom chimed in. Funny, I remember this drifting apart happening after they kicked him out over a lie. Let's not rewrite history. Mic drop. I wanted to let it simmer, I really did. But my pettiness has a timer, and once it dings, it's go time. So I made a very calm, very classy post of my own. No names. Just vibes. It's wild how silence turns into love the moment you get successful. To anyone out there grinding alone because their family gave up on them, keep going. One day, they'll pretend they supported you the whole time. You'll know the truth. And that's enough. Within an hour, my inbox was full of "you okay?" messages, and another essay-length DM from my mom. How dare you embarrass us like that after everything we've done? Do you know how that made Jason feel? Yup. There it was. Classic deflection. I didn't even reply. I just heart-reacted the message and went back to my morning pancakes like the peaceful menace I've become. But oh, they weren't done yet. Because in part 7, Jason shows up in person. And let's just say, my porch has never heard such nonsense. You ready for it? Alright. So it's a Thursday. Just a normal, peaceful day. I had my coffee, I was halfway through a client Zoom meeting, and life was good. Then I hear it. Knock. 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 Not the Amazon drop-off knock. Not the hey neighbor knock. No, this was the kind of knock that said, I come bearing drama and bad decisions. I peek through the blinds and almost drop my mug. Jason. Standing on my porch. Hoodie half-sipped. Cheap cologne trying, and failing, to cover whatever desperate energy he dragged along with him. I open the door just a crack and say, "You lost?" He doesn't laugh. He's got that face. You know the one, the "I need something but I'm gonna pretend I'm here out of love" face. Hey, man. Can we talk? Face to face? I stepped outside, arms crossed, ready for whatever Oscar-worthy performance he cooked up. And boy, did he deliver. Look. I know things went sideways. And yeah, maybe I made mistakes. But we're brothers, you know? We're supposed to help each other out. I blinked. Like how you helped me get kicked out as a teenager. That kind of help? He winced, and gave me this shrug like, come on, ancient history. Okay, yeah, but I was a kid. I didn't know it would go that far. Let's pause. He didn't know. Bro, he looked my parents dead in the face and told them I was stealing from them. He knew. He just didn't expect the consequences to backhand him years later. He kept going. Look, my job's gone. My car got repoed. I'm behind on the mortgage. Mom and Dad, they're not doing great. We need help. And you have the money. There it was. The mask slipped. Not, can I borrow? Not, I'm sorry. Not, how have you been? Just we need, you have, so give. So I looked him square in the eye and said. You're right. I do have money. And I worked my butt off to get it. You? You told the one lie that got me kicked out and forgotten. So let me be crystal clear. I don't owe you. I don't owe them. And I'm not your backup plan. He tried to interrupt. I held up a finger. And if this little stunt right here ever happens again, showing up uninvited, trying to guilt me on my own porch, I will not hesitate to involve the police. We clear? Jason looked stunned. Like the idea of me standing my ground wasn't even in his playbook. He muttered something about, this isn't over, and sulked back to his beater car that sounded like it had asthma. I stood there for a second, took a deep breath, and went back inside to finish my Zoom meeting like a professional. But as I sat down, something hit me. This dude, he really thought he could pull the same tricks from high school and they'd still work. He had no idea who he was dealing with now. Alright, so a week goes by after the Jason Porch episode. I figure he's finally gotten the message, right? Wrong. Because guess what shows up in my mailbox? A letter. Like, an actual paper envelope, not an email, not a text, not even a passive-aggressive Facebook post this time. Nope. This one came certified, like it was supposed to make me nervous. Spoiler alert, it didn't. I open it up, and it's from, wait for it, a lawyer. Not some high-powered, silk suit, TV commercial type. Just a local guy with a name that sounds like he should be selling me a used car and a smile that never reaches his eyes. Inside is a formal request asking me to consider voluntary familial financial assistance for my parents and brother. Voluntary. Familial. Financial. Assistance. I laughed so hard I almost gave myself an ab workout. They were trying to legalize the guilt trip. According to this letter, I was in a unique position of economic stability and therefore had a moral obligation to help my struggling family members, especially since I benefited from being raised in their household. Buddy. I was raised in that household the way a cactus is raised in a drought. I showed the letter to my friend Alex, and he immediately spit out his drink laughing. Bro, they lawyered up to ask for cash. That's the broke version of Avengers, Endgame. I could have ignored it, but pettiness runs in my bloodstream now. So I did the most legal, professional, and ridiculously satisfying thing possible. I wrote back. I had my own lawyer draft a response, real sharp, with that polite but lethal tone that says, touch me again and I will end you in court. It basically said, I owe them nothing. I have documented proof of the false accusations, including testimonies and timestamps. Any further harassment would be met with legal action for defamation, emotional distress, and attempted extortion. And just to twist the knife gently, I had my lawyer bill them for the consultation fee. Oh yeah. I invoiced them for wasting my time. And that's when the messages really started to flood in. Not from my parents, nope, they went quiet. From the extended family. Aunts. Uncles. Cousins I hadn't heard from since MySpace died. All suddenly concerned about the tension in the family. Some were neutral. A few were aggressive. But a very surprising number? They took my side. Turns out, I wasn't the only one my family had steamrolled over the years. They just finally found someone who pushed back hard enough to rattle the throne. Alright, so here's the setup. Jason's getting married. Yup. Somehow, this dude managed to convince a human woman, with a brain and a last name, to sign up for a lifetime of his nonsense. Either she didn't know the full story, or she thought she could fix him. Either way, I was rooting for her escape plan. Now, I wasn't invited. Shocking, I know. But Chris was. Remember Chris? Couch saver, mom spaghetti level loyal. Yeah, he gets an invite because his girlfriend is friends with the bride. And that's when I get the call. Bro, you're not gonna believe this. They put you on the slideshow. I'm like, what? What slideshow? Apparently, during the wedding rehearsal dinner, they played this whole nostalgic, family memories, montage, baby photos, awkward school pics, the whole deal. And boom, there I was, 14 years old, smiling like I hadn't been falsely accused yet. They had the audacity to use my face in the family unity portion. Like I was part of the story they tell themselves. Like I was the long-lost brother who moved away, not the scapegoat they exiled. I was heated. But I kept my cool. And then Chris hit me with the twist. Dude. The bride's sister wants to talk to you. Wait, what now? Turns out, she's been following my journey through mutual friends. She saw my Facebook post, heard the drama, and, get this, she told the bride. The bride. As in Jason's fiancée. Apparently, she had no idea about the kicked-out teen part of the story. She thought Jason's brother, me, had chosen to go no contact over politics. Politics? Try survival, sweetheart. So now the bride is, let's say, re-evaluating things. Fast forward to the wedding day. I wasn't planning to go, but I get a last-minute call from the bride's sister. She asks me, point blank. Would you come? Just for the reception. I think it's important. So I show up. Black suit. No tie. Calm, cool, and collected. Jason sees me from across the room and nearly chokes on his champagne. I don't cause a scene. I don't make a speech. I just smile. Shake hands with the people who actually wanted to see me. Congratulate the bride, who gives me this look like, thank you for being here, and thank you for the warning. No fireworks. No drama. Until the toasts. The bride's father gets up and, mid-toast, goes. We welcome Jason into our family with open arms, though I do hope he'll learn from past mistakes, especially how he treats his own family. Clink. Silence. Awkward laughter. Jason's face turns the color of a tomato that just failed a lie detector test. And me? I raise my glass, take a slow sip, and enjoy the best piece of wedding cake I've ever had. So the reception wraps up, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I just witnessed the most awkward toast in wedding history and that's the end of it. Nope. The universe said, hold my corsage. About 2 days later, I get a DM from the bride's sister. Yo. You will not believe what went down. Oh, but I could. Apparently, after I peaced out from the wedding, on very good terms with the open bar and some new friends, might I add, the bride pulled a reverse Uno card, on her honeymoon night. They didn't even make it out of town. She confronts Jason in the hotel suite, receipts in hand. Screenshots, messages, even the lawyer letter drama that someone, bless them, forwarded to her. She didn't just ask questions. She presented a case. Turns out she didn't know Jason had a brother until 3 weeks before the wedding. 3 weeks. He had painted himself as an only child because, and I quote, it was easier than explaining the family drama. No, Jason. It was easier than explaining how you torpedoed your brother's life and tried to bill him for it later. Anyway, the bride? She's not having it. She tells him, if you can lie about your own brother, what won't you lie about? Boom. Bags packed. She checks out of the suite early and flies home solo. Leaves Jason in Vegas, yes, Vegas, looking like the world's saddest groomsman at his own pity party. By the time he slinks back into town, he's been ghosted by half the bride's family, unfollowed by a few mutuals, and, my favorite part, his post-wedding thank you Instagram goes completely ignored. But wait, there's more. Because now, my parents are scrambling. Their perfect son just got publicly dumped, their family reputation has more cracks than a windshield on a gravel road, and suddenly, everyone's asking questions. And who do they blame for all of this? Take a wild guess. Yup. Me. I get a text from my mom that says, and I kid you not, "You've embarrassed this family enough. Are you proud of yourself?" Oh, honey. You have no idea how proud I am. But I didn't reply. Instead, I screenshotted it, and saved it. Alright, so after my mom's little, "Are you proud of yourself?" guilt text, I sat with it for a second. And then I thought. You know what? Yeah. I kinda am. Because after everything, getting kicked out, hustling through rock bottom, building my life from scratch, the fact that my existence alone had shaken their house of lies? Chef's kiss. But it was time. I wasn't doing this for revenge. Nah. I wasn't trying to ruin anyone. I just wanted the truth out there. Because they'd spent years painting me as this runaway, rebellious, ungrateful loser. And I had stayed quiet. Until now. So I fired up Facebook, the same platform my family tried to manipulate like a badly written soap opera, and I wrote a post. Long honest. No dragging, no cursing, just facts. With a little signature sarcasm for flavor. It went like this. Since my name and face have been brought up in a few family posts lately, I figured I'd share my side. At 16, I was kicked out of my home based on a false accusation made by my brother. No evidence. No discussion. Just a garbage bag and a good luck. I worked 2 jobs, finished school, taught myself how to code, and built a career from the ground up. Alone. I didn't come back for revenge. I didn't even come back. But when success arrived, so did people who once erased me. I don't post this for pity, I post this for clarity. If you've ever been cut off, cast out, or counted out, keep going. One day, they'll write history like you were never the villain. But you'll know. And you'll be thriving. The black sheep who bought a wool factory. Posted. Public. Tagged no one, because I didn't have to. Within an hour, it blew up. Shares. Comments. DMs. People from high school, old co-workers, even my old English teacher chimed in like, "I always knew you were going to do big things." Jason? Silent. My parents? Silent. The family group chat, which I'd been long exiled from, was apparently on fire, according to my cousin who screenshotted half of it for me. There were 2 camps forming, "We always knew something was off" versus, "How could he do this to his own family?" To which my cousin replied in the chat. "Y'all did this to him. He just told the truth." Oof. I wanted to bake her a thank you pie. And the cherry on top? The bride, Jason's almost wife, liked the post. No comment. Just a little blue thumbs up that said everything. But hold on, we're not done. It's Saturday. I'm chillin'. Got some lo-fi playing, coffee in hand, dog on the couch. Yes, I finally got a dog, named him Justice, because why not? Life's good. Then it happens. Knock knock knock. I peek through the blinds. No. Freakin' way. It's them. Mom. Dad. Standing on my porch like the ghosts of regrets past. Dad's holding what looks like a casserole dish. Mom's got that nervous smile she used to wear when she tried to pretend everything was fine right after grounding me for something Jason did. I open the door just a little. Just enough to make it clear I'm not slamming it shut, but also not rolling out a welcome mat. "Hey, we just wanted to talk." She's doing that voice. The one that's half a whisper, half a Hallmark audition. "We saw your post. And, well, we think it's time to clear the air. Now, listen." Some part of me, the little kid version that still wanted their approval, perked up for a second. But grown me? The one who clawed his way out of rock bottom and built a life out of nothing? That guy was sitting cross-legged on the inside, sipping tea, waiting for the show. So I step outside. Leave the door cracked. Justice follows me out and just sits at my feet like a judgmental sphinx. "Good boy. We know we didn't handle things well back then," Dad says. Understatement of the decade. "But you have to understand, we thought we were doing what was best. Jason was going through a lot." Ah yes. The "Jason was struggling" card. It's practically laminated by now. We made mistakes, Mom finally says. But you didn't have to humiliate us. You turned the whole family against us. Oh, there it is. Not, we're sorry we hurt you. Not, we see what we did wrong. Nope. Just good old-fashioned victimhood. So I took a deep breath and said, I didn't turn the family against you. I told the truth. If the truth makes people walk away from you, maybe ask why the truth sounds so ugly. She looked like I'd slapped her with a thesaurus. Dad tried to hand me the casserole. Some kind of sad peace offering wrapped in tin foil and gilt. I didn't take it. You didn't come here to apologize. You came here because your image took a hit and you thought maybe, just maybe, I'd still be that kid who wanted your approval bad enough to forget all the years you erased me. They stood there silent. But that kid's gone. I buried him with the first website I coded in a busted laptop on Chris's couch. Justice let out a soft growl. Swear this dog knows vibes. They left quietly. Casserole still in hand. I watched them drive away, this surreal calm washing over me. I wasn't angry. Not anymore. Just, done. But they weren't. So after my parents' casserole and cry visit flopped harder than a bad sitcom pilot, I thought maybe, just maybe, the circus had packed up and left town. Ha! Foolish optimism. 2 weeks later, I get a notification from my security app, you know, the one connected to the cameras I installed after the first surprise visit. Front porch cam lit up around 2:14 a.m. Yup. 2:14 in the freakin' morning. I check the footage. It's Jason. In a hoodie. With a flashlight. Walking up to my house like he's casing the joint in slow motion. Dude looked like a burglar who missed the crime tutorial. He doesn't knock. Doesn't say anything. Instead, he pulls a printed piece of paper out of his pocket, unfolds it, and tries to tape it to my front door. Not even good tape, like off-brand scotch that wasn't ready for the moment. So of course, I let the camera record it all. Zoomed in. Crystal clear. The next morning, I check the paper. It's a typed-up letter, dripping with desperation and delusion. I'm sorry things got so out of hand. I know I messed up. But you have everything now, and I have nothing. That house should have been mine. You didn't earn it, you got lucky. I've got a family to take care of. You've made your point. Now do the right thing. Do the right thing. Like he didn't try to fake a rental agreement, break into my house, lie to our entire family, and then expect a bro hug after sabotaging my childhood. That was it. I called my lawyer and sent him the footage. We filed for a restraining order that same week. It went through fast. Between the footage, the letter, the previous break-in, and the attempted guilt campaign via legal letter stunt, Judge wasn't just sympathetic, she was concerned. Jason got served in front of his apartment complex. Witnesses. Full scene. Apparently, he tried to argue with the officer, then cried, again, about how I ruined his life. Let me be very clear, I didn't ruin Jason's life. I just refused to carry it anymore. But here's where it gets poetic. A few days later, I get a text from a number I don't recognize. Hey. I'm Jason's ex. I just wanted to say thank you. Turns out, his short-lived bride-to-be finally dipped for good. Took her stuff, left the key, and said she was tired of trying to raise 2 kids and a grown man with Peter Pan syndrome. She read my viral post. Compared it to Jason's lies. And when she saw the security footage, she packed up faster than you can say, red flag. Now Jason was alone. No job. No house. No sympathy. And for once, I didn't feel sorry for him. So boom, a few months pass. Life's peaceful. Business is thriving. Justice, my dog, not the concept, though that too, is fat and happy. But something's still chewing at the back of my mind. See, I told my story online. But I never really told it. Not in my own voice. Not where people could hear the cracks, the climb, the comeback. Then one day, a buddy of mine, host of a local podcast about personal growth and overcoming adversity, hits me up. You ever think about telling your story? Like, really telling it? I hesitated. I wasn't trying to be that guy. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, this wasn't just about me anymore. This was for every kid who got kicked out for someone else's lie. For every black sheep who turned their wool into gold. So I said yes. We recorded in a little studio with mics that looked way fancier than they needed to be. I told everything. From the trash bag on the porch to the porch cam catching Jason red-handed. The pain. The hustle. The rebirth. I thought it'd be a small episode. Niche audience. A couple hundred listeners maybe. It hit 2 million in under a month. People from all over were messaging me. Sharing their stories. Calling me an inspiration. And for the first time, I realized I didn't just survive my past. I rewrote it. I'm out walking Justice on a crisp Saturday morning. Sun's out, vibes are immaculate. And when I round the corner back to my place, I see it. Jason. Again. On my porch. At this point I swear my ring cam deserves hazard pay. But this time, I don't even approach. I stay back, half hidden behind the fence, and let Justice lead the way. He trots up and sits right between Jason and the door like a furry little security guard. Jason sees me, raises his hand like we're about to have some brotherly reconnection moment. Nah. Hey, man. Look. I know I messed up. I heard the podcast. People are talking. You're doing great. Maybe we can. I cut him off. We're not doing anything, Jason. You need to leave. The restraining order is still in place. I will call the cops. He sighs, does that fake hurt shoulder sag, and hits me with this. Can't we at least talk like family? We're not family. We're relatives. Big difference. He muttered something about, you think you're better than everyone now, but I didn't even engage. And then, before I could speak again, Justice growled. Like, deep chest level, I don't trust you, growl. Jason actually backed up a step. I gave him one last look. That dog has better instincts than you ever did. Now leave. He did. And that? That was the last time I ever saw him. But it set the stage for the grand finale. It's been a year now. The podcast took off. I've spoken at events. Mentored a few kids from rough homes. Even started writing a book. People still ask me what I'd say to my family now if I had the chance. And my answer? Nothing. They heard enough when they weren't listening. See, my story doesn't end with forgiveness or holiday reunions or some Hollywood moment where we hug it out in the rain. It ends with peace. Boundaries. Purpose. I bought a house. Started a scholarship fund. And Justice? He's got a whole Instagram now. Verified and everything. He's an icon. Sometimes, you don't get closure from the people who hurt you. Sometimes, closure is living so well that their lies can't touch you, and your silence is louder than anything they ever screamed. So yeah. I got kicked out as a teen over a lie. But I walked back in through the front door of my own life, and I built a better one.